Hello and welcome back to Daily English with Lily and Leo. I'm Lily.
And I'm Leo. And today we are debating one of the great personality questions.
Plans versus spontaneity. Do you need to know exactly what you're doing before you do it? Or is it better to just show up and see what happens?
And before I say anything else, I want it on the record that I am a very organized person.
Leo,
I am organized in some areas.
you once spent 40 minutes choosing which video game to play and then played none of them.
That was research.
Before we go any further, if you're new here, welcome. Every week we talk about real, everyday topics in natural English to help you practice at B1 to B2 level. Please subscribe. It's completely free and it genuinely helps us.
And if you've been listening for a while, thank you. It means more than you know.
Okay, so let's start with you and your relationship with plans.
My relationship with plans is complicated. In theory, I love a plan. In practice, I make the plan, feel very organized for approximately 3 minutes, and then do something completely different.
Every time?
Not every time, but often enough that my to-do lists are more of a historical document than an actual guide.
Whereas I genuinely run on lists. Every Sunday, I write down what I want to do that week in a notebook, on paper, not on a phone, and it helps me.
Does it stress you out if you don't finish everything on the list?
A little. I'm working on that.
So even the planner has a complicated relationship with the plan.
The plan isn't the problem. The problem is when you forget that the plan serves you, not the other way around.
What do you mean?
I went on a city trip once with a full itinerary, color-coded. Every museum, every restaurant, every walking route, down to the hour.
Of course you did.
Day 2, I was walking between 2 scheduled things, and I passed a tiny bakery. Nothing on the itinerary, just a small place with steam on the windows and something that smelled incredible.
And you walked straight past it.
I hesitated, stood outside for about 30 seconds.
And then?
I went in. I sat there for an hour. Best pastry of the whole trip. Not in any guidebook, not on any list.
But you almost didn't, because of the schedule.
That's exactly it. The plan nearly made me walk past the best part of the whole day.
So the plan is the skeleton, not the whole body.
The bones are useful. The train ticket, the accommodation, knowing roughly where you're going, that part matters. But within the skeleton, you want room to breathe.
The plan handles the boring decisions in advance, so when something interesting appears, you're free to say yes.
Exactly. Tell me your best unplanned moment.
Last spring. Free Saturday. Absolutely no plans. Woke up, had coffee, walked outside without knowing where I was going.
And?
I took whatever bus came first. Ended up in a neighborhood I had never visited. Found a small street market, found a cafe, sat there for 2 hours with a book.
That sounds genuinely lovely.
One of the best days of that month, and it only worked because I had no expectations. There was nothing to fail.
Whereas when you do have a plan and something goes wrong?
The time I decided on a Thursday evening to go to a music festival on Saturday. No ticket, no trains booked, no place to stay. Just assumed it would work out.
How did that go?
I stood on a train platform for 2 hours waiting for trains that were already full. Then another one. Then I ate a sandwich at the station cafe and went home.
Spontaneous and deeply inconvenient.
Spontaneous has a shadow side.
So the real question isn't plan or no plan, it's what kind of plan.
And how tightly you hold it once you have it.
I want to bring in Julia here because she is the best example I know of someone who had a plan, let go of it, and found something far better.
Japan.
Japan. She went solo, which already took real courage. She had a tourist itinerary for the first 3 days. Museums, temples, the classic route.
And she followed it?
For 2 days. And then she told me the itinerary started to feel like homework. She was crossing things off a list, but not actually being there.
So she threw it away.
By day 3, no plan, just walking. She found a small ramen place in a neighborhood that wasn't in any guidebook, ate there 3 times over the course of the whole trip.
The same place 3 times.
Because it was genuinely that good. And she had no shared language with anyone there, communicated entirely by pointing and smiling. said it was the most alive she'd felt in years.
Even though she couldn't read the menu.
Especially because she couldn't read the menu.
That's interesting. The lack of control made it more exciting, not less.
When there's nothing to go wrong, you stop being afraid of things going wrong.
Now, on the other extreme, Mark.
I knew Mark was coming.
Mark is the most prepared person I have ever met in my life. 9 months, 47 bookshelves, an 8-column spreadsheet.
Tell me the columns.
Width, depth, weight capacity, number of shelves, material, customer reviews, delivery time, and returns policy. Complete. Color-coded by rating.
And after 9 months of research?
He bought the third one on his original shortlist, the one he'd already liked before he started the whole process.
The spreadsheet changed nothing.
He said that himself. It didn't help him choose better. What it did was help him feel less anxious about choosing, like he'd earned the decision.
That's fascinating, actually. Because sometimes we plan not because we need more information. We plan because we're scared to commit.
Commit. Once you commit to something, all the other options close off, and that can feel like a loss even when it isn't one.
So more research means you're technically still in the choosing phase. You can't be wrong yet.
And we talked about this a few weeks ago with procrastination. Sometimes what looks like preparation is actually avoidance wearing a very sensible coat.
Mark would disagree strongly with that.
Mark has a beautiful, well-researched bookshelf. He has filled it, it looks great, so perhaps he wins anyway.
I want to say something about running because it shows the other side of this.
Go on.
When I'm preparing for a long run, a half marathon, a big training week, I plan every session, the route, the target pace, the distance, and having the plan makes me run better.
Because it removes the decisions on the day.
Exactly. When I'm tired at kilometer 8, I don't have to think about where I'm going. I already decided. The plan handled the hard choices in advance, so I can just be in it.
Whereas if I had that kind of schedule for anything physical, I would immediately want to do something else.
Really?
The moment something goes on the calendar, it stops feeling like a choice. And I need it to feel like my idea, even if I was going to do it anyway.
Even if you were definitely going to do it anyway.
Especially then, I need to believe it was spontaneous.
This is a very specific form of self-deception.
It works for me. That's all I can say.
I think there's something useful in this, though. The best plan is the one that fits how you actually are, not the one that fits how you think you should be.
You've tried to be more spontaneous?
I've tried, and when I force myself to have no plan, I'm not free. I'm just anxious with nowhere to put it.
Whereas when I force myself to stick to a rigid schedule, I'm not organized. I'm just staring at a list feeling trapped.
So neither of us is wrong. We just have different operating systems.
I like that. Different operating systems.
The important thing is knowing which one you are and not spending energy trying to be the other one.
I also think spontaneity doesn't have to mean big dramatic decisions. It lives in small things too.
Say more.
Calling someone you haven't spoken to in months because they just came into your head. Trying the dish on the menu you've never ordered before. Taking a different street home.
That last one you do quite often.
Usually because I'm looking at my phone and miss the turning.
Accidental spontaneity.
But genuinely, sometimes the unexpected street leads somewhere interesting. A bookshop you'd never seen, a square you didn't know existed.
And I think those small, unplanned moments train you for the bigger ones. If you're completely rigid in every small choice, the big, unexpected things feel much scarier.
Whereas if you practice a little flexibility in daily life, saying yes to things gets easier over time.
Flexibility as a habit, not a personality type.
Biscuit is a very spontaneous creature.
Is she?
Completely unpredictable. Plans nothing. One moment she's asleep on the mystery box, the next she has knocked the someday jar off the shelf, the next she's sitting on my keyboard adding characters to a document.
How is the someday jar?
€5, 10 cents, up 20 cents.
You've been disciplined.
I made coffee at home both mornings at the weekend. Very virtuous. Biscuit sat next to the jar both mornings as though she was supervising the transaction.
She takes that role seriously.
She is a very present creature. No plans, no regrets. That's the cat philosophy.
I'm not sure that fully translates to humans, but I take the point.
Both?
Okay, let's pull out our 5 words.
Word 1. Spontaneous. Doing something naturally, without planning at first. Not forced, not organized, just in the moment.
She made a spontaneous decision to take the afternoon off, and it was exactly what she needed. Spontaneous usually sounds positive, free, light, unplanned in a good way.
Word 2. Flexible. Able to change and adapt. Not rigid. Open to things going differently than you expected.
Try to stay flexible. The plans might change. And about a person, she's very flexible. She never minds if things shift at the last minute.
Word 3. Commit. To decide firmly. To give yourself fully to something. A plan, a decision, a relationship, a goal.
I want to commit to this course, but I need a little more time to be sure. Once you commit, you're in. The other options close.
Word 4. Hesitate. To pause before doing something, usually because you're uncertain or nervous.
She hesitated for a moment and then walked through the door. A short hesitation is just thinking. A long one is usually fear.
Word 5. Impulsive. Doing something suddenly, without thinking about the consequences first. Similar to spontaneous, but carries a slightly higher risk feeling.
He made an impulsive decision and immediately wasn't sure about it, though sometimes impulsive decisions turn out brilliantly. You just didn't know that at the time.
5 words. Spontaneous, flexible, commit, hesitate, impulsive.
Now let's do the grammar, and it fits today's topic perfectly because we have been contrasting things all episode.
I noticed that actually.
You keep saying things like, even though I had a free Saturday, although the plan was color-coded, whereas I need spontaneity, you need a schedule.
Clauses of contrast and concession.
Is that the technical name?
That's the name. These are the connecting words we use when two facts seem like they shouldn't go together, but they do.
The main ones, although, even though, whereas, despite, in spite of. Let's go through them.
Although and even though first.
They mean the same thing and work the same way. They connect 2 clauses where one fact makes the other surprising.
Although she had a full itinerary, she threw it away on day 3. We expect someone with an itinerary to follow it. The although signals that's not what happened.
Even though he researched 47 options, he bought the one he already liked. Same structure. Even though often sounds slightly more emphatic, like the speaker is more surprised.
But they're interchangeable in most situations.
Right. Now, whereas, this one is different. Not about surprise. It's about simple contrast between 2 parallel things.
Like a comparison.
I plan every kilometer of my run, whereas you decide when you get there. Neither thing is surprising. We're just showing the difference between 2 approaches.
It connects 2 balanced clauses and usually appears in the middle between them.
And it's neutral in tone. No judgment. Just, here are 2 different things.
What about despite and in spite of?
These are different grammatically from the others. Although and even though are followed by a full clause. Subject, verb, complete thought. Despite and in spite of are followed by a noun or a verb in the ing form.
Show me the difference.
Although she was tired, she finished the run. Although, then a full clause. Despite being tired, she finished the run. Despite, then the ing form. Same meaning, completely different structure.
In spite of the rain, she went out anyway. In spite of, then a noun.
Exactly. You can't say, in spite of it was raining. That's wrong. It has to be a noun or the ing form.
And despite and in spite of mean the same thing.
Completely. Use whichever sounds more natural in the sentence.
Let me try to put all of them together.
Go.
Although I had the whole day free, I ended up doing nothing productive.
Even though I planned the whole week, I only crossed off half the list.
Whereas I need spontaneity to feel motivated, you need a clear plan to feel calm.
Despite having a list, I didn't look at it once all day.
In spite of that being incredibly relatable, I refuse to confirm it's about me.
Perfect. That's exactly how those words work in real conversation.
And once you have them, your English sounds immediately more precise because you stop using but for everything and start choosing the right connector.
But is a fine word, but although, whereas, despite, these give you more precision and more variety.
You just used but in the sentence where you explained that but isn't always enough.
I did. Good catch. Okay, the motivation moment.
Go on.
I keep thinking about Julia on day 3 in Japan. Itinerary in her hand, everything planned, and she decides to put it away.
That is a genuinely scary moment. The plan is safe.
It is. The plan is what you decided before the feelings arrived. Throwing it away means trusting yourself in the moment without the safety net.
And she found the best ramen of her life.
She found the ramen, the neighborhood, the solo dinners she came to love. All of it came from letting go of the plan once she had the basics in place.
So the plan did its job. It got her there, got her a flight, got her a place to sleep, and then it stepped aside.
Use the plan to get started. Don't let it stop you once you're already moving.
Whether you're someone who writes everything down or someone who never makes a list, the starting is always the hard part.
1% every day.
That's it. One small step at a time.
And here's the pizza question that never goes away.
How does pizza connect to spontaneity?
Some people plan their pizza. Dinner with friends after a match. A full occasion. A deliberate choice.
As it should be. Pizza is an event. It deserves intention.
And some people wake up on a rainy morning, open the fridge, find cold pizza, make tea, and sit in the kitchen in complete silence, and it is perfect.
That is not perfect. That is breakfast without standards. Cold pizza for breakfast is what happens when planning fails entirely.
Spontaneous cold breakfast pizza is one of the quiet pleasures of life. It cannot be scheduled. It can only be discovered.
Listeners, this debate has been running for months now. Planned dinner pizza or accidental breakfast pizza? Please tell us in the comments. We genuinely need a verdict.
And while you're there, try today's grammar. Tell us something about your week or your life using although, even though, whereas, despite, or in spite of. Use one, use all 5. We read every comment.
Even the short ones.
Especially the short ones. Thank you for spending this time with us today.
Subscribe if you haven't yet. Share this with one person who might enjoy it, and we'll see you next week.
Until then,
Bye, everyone.
goodbye.